Hello guys from El Centro, California. We are driving east on the Interstate 8. Gosh, last time we were here, we were heading down, we're hooking a right to San Felipe, Mexico. But today we are beginning probably like a 1700 mile road trip to go look at a new RV. More specifically, to go look at expedition vehicles, because we are in the market for a four-wheel drive, four-season RV. And the question I have for you today is, how far would you guys drive just to go look at potential RVs? Because although I guess in our grand scheme of travels, you know, a 1700 mile road trip isn't all that bad, especially when we're driving grandma's car here while we're here in the lower 48. And this thing gets like over 30 miles a gallon. So it's probably only going to be like $300-400 in fuel. That's not bad at all versus us like making a separate trip from Alaska and flying. So we're taking advantage of our time here to go and just take a simple little road trip to Missouri from San Diego.
Well, it's been a couple of weeks since we, number one, were on the road, and number two, picked up the camera. So I'm kind of excited that we did both today. It's been a very hectic couple of weeks. We helped with Grandpa getting ready for his service, getting things cleaned out at his home. Yesterday we laid him to rest, which was an intense day, but it's part of life. Had to be done. Kind of got that taken care of and closed that chapter a bit. So also saw Shelby's doctors, had her do some follow-up. She's had a bit of a rough week because, and they warned us this would happen, cut her meds back. She had a little bit of a relapse. We now know her threshold for the prednisone. It wasn't a big surprise. We just didn't know when it was going to happen. And I won't lie, I have a few more gray hairs. I think we took a couple of years off of Ben's heart. It was pretty hard on both of us, as well as her. Probably harder on us than her. She was just kind of like da-da-da. But now we know her baseline. We did have her see another doc that is helping us with some supplementation to get her nutrition status and her supplements on track so that we can get her off of these meds that are so hard on her body. She's doing great now that we've got her back on the right dose of meds, and she's a happy little duck. So I'm gonna warn you, this is not our regular road trip. We are, I think, gonna have a great time. We're adding a little bit of a twist to this because we're gonna make a lot of stops. A lot of stops, right? Yeah, a lot of stops. And we may never get there, no. We are going to introduce you to some people you don't know and hang out with some people you've already met.
Here's our first stop and our first people. Gary and Stacy of Powhana Travels.
Hey guys!
What's up?
Hi! Welcome to the dirt and grime of American Grime!
Yeah!
Oh, I can't wait to get out of the Dust Bowl!
Alright guys, we have something exciting for you and a little different. Beck is going to ride with Stacy in their motorhome for a stretch of this little trip here, and Gary is going to ride with me. I think we're getting the short end of the deal because the two big dudes are going to be in the small car, but you're going to have to go over to Powhana Travels to see Rebecca's experience over there on their channel. Okay, here's another old friend's rig. So you're moving on up, dude. What's this? You're not FR3 anymore.
No, I got a new rig just after Christmas, before New Year's.
Looks nice.
I like this layout.
Thanks.
I always
Yeah.
wanted this kind of L-shaped couch.
That's totally cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll catch you later. If you girls can't handle that, you know, Gary and I can drive.
And we have walkie-talkies, so we can communicate.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're fine.
Yeah, I hear you roar.
All right.
See you later, American Girl Mine. It's been a lot of fun. Till next time, folks. And there goes the disco. Well, Ben and I are driving down to Phoenix together, and you know, some of you may have noticed why he was doing a Class B and a Class C thing a little while back. So, a chance to talk about that, Ben?
Yeah. We had a sponsored gig on the Central Coast of California with a production company called Central Coast Now, and then an RV dealer. They have like 3 stores there on the Central Coast. So it's kind of like twist our arm, but they gave us RVs for a month to cruise around the Central Coast, and we got hooked up at all these really cool RV resorts, and
wow,
we had creative control still.
Nice.
And that's something I take a lot of pride in.
Yes, you do.
Being able to do things my way and not conform to the whole politically correct standards. Like, hi, my name's Ben, and we're here at ABC RV Resort.
You're
Screw
right.
that
No,
noise.
this is what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you how it is.
We're going to roll the way we roll for any sponsored gig that we do.
And I think that's what I like about you guys the best is you tell it how it is,
whether it's good or bad.
Good or bad, yeah. You're not making it all all rainbows and whatever the hell. It's real life.
And I think that's what people value, because like anybody can make a commercial, you know, about a beach on Tahiti,
right?
Yeah, and it's going to look all nice and pretty and whatnot, but it's not a real life experience. And this is 2018 now. Everybody's got cameras on their phones. Right. There's so much out there. People need to see reality. But it was a cool experience because we got to ride in a Class B Mercedes Sprinter van as the Road Trek 22 or 23, which is pretty awesome. I think it'd be really awesome for one person. Kind of so awesome for 2 people and a dog.
Yeah.
You know, not a petite person here, but the van life is ideal for one person
or 2 small people.
Exactly.
And I'm with you there. I'm not the small person to be in a van.
But then we went on and got the Class C, the 2016 Leprechaun.
That's a nice rig. We did tour some of those.
It wasn't bad, all things considered. And what it did is it gave us a taste of what life is going to be like in an expedition vehicle, because it was a 23-foot rig, and we're looking at something around an 18 to 20-foot box on the back of whatever chassis. Exactly. So we determined the layout wasn't ideal. You know, there are a lot of things that we would do differently, but we determined we can live in 20 feet.
That's good. I was kind of figuring that was going to be a trial run to see if you could actually survive in the expedition vehicles that you're looking at.
So you guys were just at, are they called convergences?
Well, so they changed the name of this one.
It's Escapers.
So this was
one of those RV clubs.
Big RV club. This is the Escapers annual bash. There were 2 parts. The first part was up in Quartzsite, and the second part was down here at the American Girl Mine area.
Yeah. So where are you guys going after this whole, desert area? Are you guys going to cut towards the coast? Or are you going to head towards the mountains as it starts warming up?
Unknown a little bit at this point. We need to be home by like the 25th, 26th of March. Okay. So it's not quite warmed up north yet. So we're probably going to stay down in this area. Maybe Sedona. I'm not sure about Flagstaff. That's kind of high elevation, higher than Sedona.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll stay warm as long as we can, and then we'll probably make a quick trip home again.
Okay.
You know, and then there's talks of maybe a Colorado trip in mid-spring, and then mid-summer we're going to take off and go east.
Okay. Nice.
And then
doing the East Coast.
Well, you know, it's there.
Well, it's an amazing place.
And we've talked to a lot of people. There's actually quite a few of our friends that we've met over these last couple of weeks that are going that way as well. So we'll be able to hook up with a bunch of them too.
Yeah, just be prepared to have to pay to park.
Well, that's the unfortunate part. When you're on the East Coast and New England and such, you're going to be experiencing a lot more RV parks and such like that.
Yeah, but there's a lot more history.
Right. there's no BLM land. There's no open space camping, or very minimal.
I think local knowledge is crucial for that area,
Right.
and if you can tap into your social networks.
Yep, and we've got a couple people on queue with that local knowledge in the New England area, and also some more of on the central East Coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, our plans, as always, our plans are kind of fluid. They change, but generally we're heading east in the end of the summer area, and maybe a Midwest trip in the fall, or I'm sorry, in the spring.
Yeah, we need to really do Canada justice one of these days.
That's part of our East Coast plan.
Yeah, cut across southern Canada.
Cut across Canada. Yeah.
It's an amazing country, and I want to get further east where you get that French influence and some more culture.
So it'll be a lot of fun to experience that. We're really looking forward to that aspect of our travels. And there's a road, so let's go.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Life is short, dude.
It is. You have to take it day by day.
And you never know when it's gonna happen, man.
Exactly.
Just seen so much, got so much respect for life now, and how fragile life is over these past 5 months or whatever.
Right. You've been through quite a bit with your family. I've got some situations with my family going on now too, and
it's all just life. You
can't
life. Control it. You just got to ride it and make the most of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Get over your fears and
one of our biggest influences as to why we're traveling the way we're traveling and so much is Stacy's dad. He passed away at age 60.
Yeah.
He had plenty more years beyond that. Should have. He was taken away from us too early. Yeah. And he was a nomad as well. He wanted to go out and see and explore. So we're kind of living his life.
Yeah.
Extending his life through our travels.
Well, would he want it any other way?
No. This he is so happy for us right now. It's awesome.
I look at my grandfather, and he would want me to go out and fulfill my dreams.
Yes, exactly.
There is a part of me that does think that, you should just live in the same area. You shouldn't travel as much. Just plant them roots. But we kind of throw that one out the window when we moved to Alaska. But part of me thinks is that the right way, or is there even a right way?
Well, I was just going to say, what is the right way?
There isn't a right way.
It's whatever
what your
heart
says. And my grandfather, he went off and made something of himself in the world.
Yep.
He enlisted in the army, then he went off to Japan, and whereas a lot of people let's plant them roots in this hometown.
Right.
Man, if that's what you want and that's what ultimately makes you happy,
then more power to you. Do it,
because it's what's inside that you have to answer to.
Well, and you're a lot like us too. You have the home. You have a house.
Yeah.
You kind of call it a home base kind of thing. We do that. We do that too. We go home and repair and reprovision and head out again. So it is really nice to have that.
But we're not cool kid full timers.
Oh, I know, exactly. We're only part-time full timers because we own a house. Well,
dude, labels.
Shit.
I know this vlog is totally weird because you're seeing a lot of opinions, but labels.
But I think we're in sync a lot on a lot of this stuff. The big group in Quartzsite was wow. It was a lot of fun, but it was too much for us. Too big.
Yeah.
I'd much rather hang out with a smaller group of people. 10, 12 people, something like that would be perfect size.
That first year was. It's going to sound cliche, but it was magical because there were 8 of us. There was the Escapers Convergence for 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't even think we attended but one event because, I don't know, I just didn't
Was there an event list? I don't know.
Well, no, there was. There were solar talks and all that stuff. But, then 8 of us went off and camped on our own afterwards. Yep. And we were all pretty much complete strangers.
And that was the best part of your experience.
Accepting of each other, and there were no preformed cliques, which is so annoying. But humans are humans; they can't help themselves.
Correct. They're gonna find the people that they associate with best and hang with those folks. But
when everybody's new and nobody knows anybody, and it's a small group, it's something special.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
very, very special.
I like that small group feeling better. And I was talking to several different people around campfires and this and that, and my feeling is I enjoy quality conversation, not quantity conversation.
Yeah.
Meaning, when you're around a campfire and you got 100 and a half people around you, that's quantity conversation. You're talking to everybody and you don't remember what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Quality is when you're sitting around a campfire and you have 4 or 5 people with you and you have meaningful conversation.
But then,
I prefer that.
You get these things where, I have 600 watts of solar, I got 750. It's like,
Yeah. Who
let's
cares?
like not one up each other. Let's not keep up with the Joneses. Let's, I don't know, but humans can't help themselves. I don't hold it against anybody individually. It's just human beings or sapiens,
Absolutely.
whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, this is totally a weird vlog, guys.
This is really kind of crazy. We're getting deep into this stuff, man. Wow.
I wonder what the girls are talking about.
I don't know. That'll be kind of fun to hear.
So, is Stacy up to going through that drive-thru that we can do?
She's like scared now, probably.
Well, okay, so we're heading to Sonic. You might need to lean out the window.
And down a few feet?
No,
okay.
It's all doable. Trust me, I'll make great video, Gary.
We'll see how this goes, guys.
I'll play with the big dogs.
Well, let's see. Our rig was a little bit bigger than your rig.
Size doesn't matter.
Size doesn't
That's
matter,
what your wife
right?
says.
Hey. Okay. Here's our Sonic up here on the left. Oh, that turn might be difficult.
Oh, it's actually not.
Actually, not too bad.
Gary, is this okay?
Oh, this is great.
Gary's having fun.
This is good. This is an easy drive-through. Just make this corner wide right here. A little wider. How are we doing?
Our first drive-thru. This is so dumb.
No, this is perfectly fine. What are you talking about?
This is what happens when you end up hanging with Ben and Rebecca.
Right? You might want to take it a little wider.
I can't believe you agreed to this.
Go straight out a little bit and then cut in. Oh man, you missed it.
We tried.
You missed it.
That's the nice thing. We have you guys to order for us.
Wow, you could have done it.
I'm going to go out
Yeah.
and not walk around.
But wow, this overhang. We'd have to be out their ways, and I don't know if my arms are that long.
But see, they can also bring your stuff right out
I guess
that
they
door.
could come out the door too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, shoot.
I tried to give you guys some adventure. And
Hey,
this is what happens.
Hey, that was adventure for her, that's for sure.
0717?
So Ben, what do you think?
Follow our adventures, but don't park like us.
Ouch! So Beck, how was your drive experience with Stacy?
Dude, I'm wondering if I can get like a recliner chair in the expedition vehicle because I'm kind of sold.
I don't know if they have that much room in there.
We'll make it.
You'll make it work.
That is awesome.
You know, Rebecca and I's philosophy on a lot of things has been, what if something happens to me? We need to have redundancy.
Yep.
And for pure safety, especially in Alaska.
Yep. You gotta have backup.
Exactly. You know, her hands can do the same thing that these hands can do.
And that's why she drives. That was something we did early on. Is she knows the value of having a second driver. If I were to break a leg or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know, she has to be able to drive and get us to where we're going.
You have to.
Yep.
I just don't agree with, you know, the
Single drivers.
the wives that don't do anything. Like, what if, you know, your life partner has a heart attack in the middle of nowhere? You need to be able to pack that rig up.
Right.
I'm tired of living in the dark. Anyone see me down here?
Loving these Arizona gas prices.
Oh yeah.
$2.50 a gallon. We paid $3.05 this morning.
I bet you did. Yeah, California is a little high on their fuel. They like it. All right, so that was a new experience for me. Pumping gas here at the Loves, and the fuel pump stopped at 10 gallons. Man, I'm not used to that.
Neither was I.
It's kind of
I'm
nice.
not complaining, you know,
No.
when it only takes $25 to fill a tank and you get over 300 miles.
That's not too bad at all. It's kind of nice having a small little car to scoot around in.
It is. There's pros and cons.
Yeah, right.
Like we're gonna need to get hotel rooms.
That's true too. Yeah, you have. You said earlier you have your whole life in the back of this car, almost.
Yeah. Hey, I only have like 4 or 5 t-shirts.
If you need more, you can buy more and throw away others.
Well, like that's all that fit when we evacuated out of, you know, Alaska with Shelby.
Right. It was a quick go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But it's kind of different being in a small car. I'm used to filling up that big motorhome, you know, and we would try not to fill up below quarter tank, so we're hitting 60 and 75 gallons per fill up.
Yeah.
Oh, but that one night was more than just right. I didn't leave you, 'cause that was all through.
Well, I think it was a great day.
Yeah.
I know we had great talks.
Oh, we had a
Lot
good
of
time.
fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's time to give each other's cameras back.
I'm ready to call it a night.
All right, here you
All
go.
right, so
All right, on
Here you go,
our
Ben.
camera.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys
Hey,
go
sneak
check
in right
out
here.
Pauhana Travels and subscribe. I'm keeping an eye on the dog and have a good night. I'm
Yep.
done.
We had a good time, guys. It was a great drive. We'll see you later on.
Pauhana.
Pauhana, guys.
Night night.